right, kids. Hope everyone's having a great day. It's nice, sunny. It's actually a little warm. And I'm saying warm loosely because it's still cold. Let's have a little chat today about energy. Energy after weight loss surgery. When I first went up for my first appointment for weight loss surgery, I remember in the class that I was sitting in, one of the weight loss persons was in there with me, and they were talking about how much energy you'll have after weight loss surgery. And I'm thinking to myself, God knows I need energy, because the old Michael, I can remember on my off days, all I wanted to do was sleep. I had no ambition. I did not want to do anything. Physically, I did exactly what I had to do, nothing more. And some say, well, how did you work? Well, you got to go to work. If you don't work, you don't eat. I did, in the job that I had at the time with Walmart, I was protected. The area that I worked in, prior to going to HR, I was one of the front end managers for 10 years, and I did not go past the front end. I took care of the front end along with 3 other front end managers, and then I went to HR, and it was a very sedentary position. So I didn't have to do a lot of manual work. I was able to do those jobs physically. So then 29 weight loss surgery, and I remember sitting in that room prior to surgery, and they're like, you're gonna have so much energy after surgery. And I'm thinking, good, because that's what I need. And I can remember waking up after weight loss surgery and just thinking, and it's silly to think that something would click that quickly. But I remember thinking, I'm gonna have this energy, I'm gonna just get up and wanna do everything. You and I both know all I wanted to do for the first few days was sleep. And not because I was hurting or because I was tired, it was because of all of the medicine that they use to put you to sleep, and the medicine that they inject for you to not have any pain, because I didn't take a single pain pill after weight loss surgery. I didn't take a single pain pill after weight loss surgery. I didn't take a pain pill after a tummy tuck. I didn't take a pain pill after my chest surgery. I guess call it a high tolerance for pain. I don't know what you call it, but I don't know if I'm numb to pain or what, but didn't take a single pain pill, and I'm grateful for that. So I can remember thinking, when am I going to get this burst of energy? And I remember talking to people that had weight loss surgery. I remember talking to family and friends, and they say, it's gonna come, it's gonna come. You're gonna get that energy that you're looking for, and it's gonna happen. So several weeks go by, and I catch myself doing little things around the house or walking and not being so short of breath. And then I caught myself waking up before the alarm clock went off and actually getting up, feeling like getting up, and not wanting to sleep all day on your off day, feeling like going for a little walk, quarter of a mile, whatever. And that went on for several weeks, and then several months went by, and it just like a light went off in my head, and I caught myself walking more, physically doing more beyond the front end management or doing more in HR. I caught myself walking around the sales floor, talking to people, and even coworkers back then, they always called me Biggie, and they said, Biggie, we see you out on the sales floor more than we've ever seen you out on the sales floor. You're walking around, you're doing things, and you're talking to more associates and whatnot. And it hit me. I was like, that energy is here. And it didn't, you're thinking of this sudden burst of energy that you're just going to constantly have. And guys, it just kept getting better and better every day. And now, losing over 300 pounds, 6.5 years later, the energy that I have versus what I had then, there's no comparison. I didn't have energy. I didn't have a desire to do anything. Getting up now, 3-4 o'clock in the morning to go walk the bridge, walk nearly 4 miles, or go to exercise at the gym 3 to 4 to 5 days a week, and still going to work and working a 10, 11, sometimes even a 12-hour shift, and coming home. Now, if I work 10, 11, 12 hours, when I get home, I'm ready to go to bed, because normally by then it's 6, 7 o'clock. And then I'm wide awake 4:30 each morning, and I'll put in some form of exercise. And there are times now that I'm tired. Yes, there are days that I wake up early and I don't go and do an exercise, or I don't go walk or whatever. And it's physically, I'm tired. And 47 years old, you have days that you can be tired. And I was telling my grandmother just a few days ago, I had an off day, and what you gonna do today? And I said, well, to be completely honest, I would like to just stay around the house and lay around. And she says, you don't just lay around. You don't just stay home. You're always on the go. And I laughed and I said, yeah, but today, and she says, well, you're going to have days like that. And the older you get, and I said, oh, I don't want to hear it. It's true. You know, you do get older and you have to listen to your body. But one of the overwhelming thoughts that always goes off in my head is if I have that idle time, and I'm not sure if some of you have ever heard the phrase, idle time is the devil's time. My thing is if I allow myself to have idle time, if I don't find something to do, whether it be to go run the roads or go walk around or do some form of exercise, how many more idle days will I allow myself to have? And I just choose to make myself do some form of physical activity every day. And it may not be the bridge or the exercises at the gym, but I find myself doing something, spending time with my grandmother, taking her shopping, doing something, just because I'm just so afraid of having time to do nothing, and then I'll catch myself being bored and allowing an old habit or something to come back in. And I've done a dang good job of not allowing those kind of habits to come back in and stick around, because I don't have time for that. Life is better. The life I have now versus the life I had 6-7 years ago, there's no comparison. I wouldn't trade this life for the last 40. I would not trade 40 versus 47 any day. Okay, kids, it's time to get off now. Have a good one.